This is Jen Viola, and I am presenting on trauma-informed resilience fostering, specifically a middle school. Policy changes that I would make. The first one would be hiring a coordinator, full-time coordinator position, because the workload and time-intensive nature of this approach requires that the school actually have someone in that position. The Denver Schools Implementation Guide from 2017 even says that that's what should be happening, is a school is actually ready when they give the resources to that. And without someone with the knowledge, ability to train others and the time, it will be hard to implement this successfully. Another policy change would be looping. To build community among the students and teachers of the school, students will be put into houses with 4 core teachers that they will loop with from 6th to 8th grade. The benefits of looping include improved student behavior and attitude, increased student voice. Additionally, studies have shown that student self-esteem and feelings of well-being are closely related to the degree and level of personal interactions with their teachers, which looping provides. So being able to get to know students a little bit better. School day, so adjustment to the schedule. Students will be broken into groups of 10 to 12, and they will have an advisory teacher they'll meet with at the beginning of the day as well as at the end of the day, and once again offers opportunity to build community, check in and check out, meditation, catching up on work, social emotional learning curriculum. This is a change from 3 electives down to 2 elective choices. However, through the process of this small group, they'll be able to learn about each other, explore their interests in a safe space. Therapeutic counselors will be available for any student or teacher between 7 a.m. and 4 p.m. And last but not least, research has shown time and time again that pushing students out is detrimental to their development and sense of self. So knowing this, alternatives, which will be discussed later, will take the place to help students learn and gain the skills necessary to function as members of the community. School and classroom features. There will be a calm down room where students can go if they're feeling dysregulated and can't stay in the classroom. The difference, there will be a supervisor in there that will help process the event with the student. A little different, the new ISS room. A study conducted by Chalawa, Hall, Badcock, and Smith in 2018 found that ISS was associated with lower grade point average and an increased likelihood of high school dropout. ISS is not good for children or adolescents and is counterproductive to creating a community of understanding and healing. Therefore, ISS will no longer mean in-school suspension. Instead, it will stand for in a safe space. So sometimes when students just need a little bit longer of a break, this will be the place for them. There will be a counselor/teacher that will help to process that information with them, make sure their classroom work is caught up on, and teach them social skills, emotional intelligence, and things like that. Other classrooms features: warm lighting, natural lighting, sound machine. Each classroom will have a designated safe space if a student is feeling dysregulated, but they can stay in the classroom, and food will be available. Interaction processes. Adults will be present and actually interacting with students in the morning, at lunchtime, during passing, and at the end of the day. So not just taking a post, but actually interacting with students. Circles is a big part of setting up this school. It's an essential piece of emotional intelligence, is listening to other students, sharing their own stories, which enables the community to build solidarity of humankind, making it difficult to dehumanize others. So circles are effective for developing self-awareness, the ability to understand and manage feelings, self-concept, personal responsibility, empathy, communication, and group interaction skills. So circles will be used in a majority of different ways throughout the building, between staff as well as students. Social emotional curriculum. Dan Siegel adds in Mary Gordon's foreword in her book Roots of Empathy that children who develop social and emotional competence are happier, have more rewarding relationships with their peers, are more resilient in the face of stress, and even perform better academically. So using SEAL in the afternoons during those extended advisories are going to be a must to help teach kids the skills they need to be successful. Meditation and mindfulness. Science shows that practicing mindfulness can reap positive benefits such as boosting immune systems, reducing stress, increasing resilience, enhancing focus, stretching attention, and improving memory. So meditation and mindfulness will be used the first 10 minutes of the day during advisory time. The outcome of teaching mindfulness practices is building resilient students who are aware of their impulses, thoughts, feelings, and behavior that enhances their confidence, pleasure, and sense of agency in their own learning process. And lastly, teachers and staff will be trained when working with students during conflict to approach the situation asking questions such as what's up or what happened versus why did you do that or what were you thinking. Instructional practices, we will be using culturally responsive teaching, which Hammond defines culturally responsive teaching simply as an educator's ability to recognize students' cultural displays of learning and meaning making and respond positively and constructively with techniques or with teaching moves that use cultural knowledge as a scaffold to connect what the student knows to new concepts and content in order to promote effective information processing. All the while, the educator understands the importance of being in relationships and having a social emotional connection to the student in order to create a safe space for learning. Additionally, universal design will be used in its approach to curriculum that minimizes barriers and maximizes learning for all students. Teachers will work together to help design this within the school. Discipline practices, discipline that restores, or DTR, will be used at the school, and it's a model of a power with, not power over. And as you can see by the graphic, kids will be given options when conflict arises, and they'll be taught how to use this. As in, the one in the circle is the one who has the power, and we're really looking for students to want to choose option 4, to learn to work it out together, or even option 3 with a mediator. So that power is shared versus someone else deciding for the student. So once again, giving students more self-efficacy and discipline. Collaborative problem solving by Ross Green is a model. Is kids do well if they can, and when the demands and expectations being placed on students outstrip the skills they have to respond adaptively, challenging behaviors arise. These challenging behaviors are the means by which the student is communicating that they are lacking the skills. So when we, educators, view challenging behavior through the lens of lagging skills and unsolved problems, we can finally begin the process of solving those problems collaboratively with students through the process and indirectly build efficacy in these lagging skills. The CPS model will be an additional tool that the staff will use to help students to learn to problem solve. And lastly, the In a Safe Space room, which we have talked about previously. Lastly, self-care support for staff. All staff will create an individual self-care plan, including one measurable objective for physical, emotional, and health wellness as part of their goal setting at the beginning of the year. Self-care must be a proactive commitment and the number one intervention necessary to build professional resiliency. So you're not only talking about resiliency for students, but also resiliency for your staff. There'll be a group that's called Teachers Support Teachers. They'll meet weekly, and any teacher that needs some support is welcome to join. So it's kind of an in and out group, whoever wants to come. Clinical counselors are on site, and they're available to teachers to use before school, during breaks, and after school. And teachers will have some choice in how they will teach. So because teachers are set up in these houses, they will have the opportunity to teach in shared spaces with another teacher. They could choose to open the wall between their classrooms, and one teacher teaches and the other supports, and then they switch. So each teacher will only have to teach their lesson twice. This will enable the teacher more flexibility in curriculum, projects, and not burn out due to redundancy of teaching 4 of the same lessons in a day. And additionally, Additionally, if teachers choose to teach and support one another, a teacher will be able to use a restroom when necessary, which is always a big teacher concern. That is my presentation of a trauma-informed resilient middle school. If you have any questions, feel free to email me at jviola@harrisonburg.k12.va.us. Thank you so much. I hope you guys have a great holiday season. And there are my references.